Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you to the second annual national debut here in Richmond, Indiana. We're getting ready for our preview, and our first lamb in is a lamb from ET Club Lambs, and this is one that
we've got a ride time
when we started getting the pictures in was one that really attracted your attention. He's a ride time out of a Bugs Dam. And ET's been one of those consigners that have been a great addition to our sales, and they just continually to bring more and more good ones. And if you study this guy, I really like the balance and the design of him. He's one that's big boned and good footed, and sure one that I would take a look at. And got a lot of promise to him. He's one of those fall lambs that, well, December born, that's got a lot of go to him that'll be ready for those July and state fair shows and those early jackpots. Think he'll be an awful nice one for you to study. And that'll be our first one. And now ET's bringing their next lamb in, and this guy's bred out of the same sire. He's out of Ride Time. This one is out of a Moose Dam, and that is a Gorilla Son that was the twin to the Reserve Cross at Exarban in 21. And again, you look at the youthfulness of this guy and what he has for you. That one's really good through the front 1/3 of his body and lays that blade good into him. He's one that's going to have that youthful look to him that you can feed for a while, and you're not going to have to worry about setting on him to where you blow his shoulder out of him. That one's one that I think will feed easy for a lot of guys. If you guys will study the balance and the design of him, he's one that I think will bring a lot of good qualities to him. You know, we're here at Richmond, and this has been a long-time sale facility that we've used for a lot of different sales. And those of you that have been with us for a long time know that this is where we used to have the Midwest Elite and Premier 10. A fantastic facility to come in. It'll be 70 degrees, and if you're looking for something to do today, this would be a great place to come and spend your afternoon with us. We're going to start the sale at 12 o'clock, and we will start immediately at 12 o'clock. And obviously, we will have online bidding as we have the sale. And if you have any questions on that, you can certainly give me a call or my wife or Justin. And our phone numbers are posted online. My number's 317-922-6942. Hey, here's a natural color wether that's out of the Ride Time buck, and goes back to one of those Trump dams, and I think that's a Smillen buck, that Trump buck is. And this is another guy for a blue one. You got to just open up and look at him. He's one that balances up good, and he got that little extra shot of length of hip for him, and one that has got that youthful look to him, and I can't say that enough. We get these older lambs, and if they get too quick on you too soon, you're not going to have what you want. And these have got that growth curve to them that I think that are going to keep the things in balance and give them that youthful look as they go into the summer. This is the completion of our ET consignment. And again, we sure appreciate those guys coming, and they support every sale we have, and they bring us a good set each and every year. Look forward to them selling these today, and we'll look for them as we go forward to working with them as we go further into the spring.
Now in the ring is lot number 9. Feller Club Lambs.
Our next lot comes from Feller Club Lambs. They're from here in the area here in Indiana, and been a really good consignor. They bought a lot of good sheep through Willoughby sales, and they sold a lot of good sheep through Willoughby sales. If you have followed the Feller Club Lamb program, they have put a lot of good Johnson sheep in that program, and sheep that are really good. I saw this gal back in the aisle here just a few minutes ago. She is super big boned and handles tremendous. One that's really massive in her hip, and just very attractive as you study her and as she's turned loose there. This is one you can show a little bit this summer and take her home, and she's going to make a great female for a brood ewe. And she's out of an Aussie sire, which is it looks to me that one is bred Johnson a bunch on the female side, and out of Wizard, and then out of a Bigfoot Dam. The next sheep that we have in the ring is lot 10, and this gal is out of Goose. And I just started seeing some of these Goose lambs, and they've been pretty interesting to me. This one's going to be a DD in terms of her blood work, so we do want to note that she is DD. But she's not one of those that, has a lot of those traits. That one is really cool in her look and her balance. She's got a little tinge of darkness to her, but one that'll go for a long time and sure get some miles out of her. And she is out of Goose and out of a dam that goes back to Candyman.
Now in the ring is lot number 11, Mainline Showstock.
Our next consigner is Mainline Showstock, and this is a wether that is a November-born wether. Again, this is one we looked at last night as they unloaded him. This guy is really green in his makeup and's got those right pieces and parts. What's really fun about this one is he balances up good on his feet and legs. He's good in these lines, and if you study that guy from chest floor to flank, I think he balances up really nice for you. He'll be one that, again, that you got to look at these lambs of how they're going to feed as they're going, and if we get them too mature this early in the game, you're not going to have a project when you get done. He has got the foresight and the future look to him that I think he's one that's going to be awfully nice and have that youthful front end in him as we go further into the summer. So he'll be one that'll be fun to feed. Our next one is another consignment from Mainline Showstock. He is also out of the lowrider buck and goes back to a Schroyer ewe that is out of Bullseye. This guy is white. He's one that's just he's got that extra height up through his front end. One that's really attractive, and when you get to looking at him from the side, and again, you look at him about the profile and how good looking he is through the front 1/3 of his body. That one's one that is, I think, really one you need to look at also.
Now in the ring is lot number 13 for Mainline Showstock. It's a weather lamb out of lowrider on 8.5.
The lamb that we have in now is from Mainline, and this is his third lamb in the consignment. It's lot 13. This guy's a December 4th. He's out of lowrider and goes back to a Barry ewe that's was out of that nonfiction buck. This guy, another one, good feet and legs. He's youthful. He's green in his look and his appearance. One that's got some gas to him. He'll be one to contend with.
Lot 14 for Mainline Showstock. The weather lamb out of lowrider on an 8.58 Barry ewe as well.
Well, Lee didn't tell me this, but I'm going to assume that this is one that is the twin brother to that one that we just had in the ring. He's born on the same birth date, and they got consecutive tags and same mommy and daddy. So that one's going to have a lot of the same looks and features that the prior lamb in the ring is.
Now in the ring is lot number 15 from Wamsley Show Lambs. The weather lamb out of Ace of Spades.
Our next consignment comes from Wamsley Show Lambs, and they're out of Rensselaer, Indiana. Ron and his wife, they've been in the club lamb business for several years, and they've had a lot of sheep that really go out and do good for young people there in that northwest part of the state. They bring us one that's out of a buck called Ace of Spades and goes back to a big sexy ewe. You just study the bone work and the stoutness that one has. And I believe they got him. He's a purebred Hampshire lamb.
Lot number 16. Wamsley show lambs out of Chit Chat for crossbred weather on a next level flower.
The next lamb we have, and we're previewing at this time, is lot 16, Wamsley show lambs. That guy goes back to Chit Chat. He's sired by Chit Chat, and then he's out of a Den OU that's a next level flower. One that Chit Chat buck has worked well for a lot of guys. I know Justin actually bred some of those to him, and we really like the Chit Chats that we have, and they've gotten better as the springs went on. So that's promising on the sire part of that guy.
Lot 17 from Wamsley show lambs. The Dorset Advantage weather out of Chit Chat on Jennings 2236 candy paint.
The next consignment we have in the ring is lot 17, and it comes from Wamsley show lambs. This one again's out of Chit Chat, but what makes him special, this guy goes back and he's a speckled face, and he's very evident that he'll make those breed qualities. And for one that is that got that speckle to him and that look to him, he's stout and he's feature. The mommy of this one raised the reserve champion at the Wyoming State Fair last year. So again, those Chit Chats have done very well, and it'll be exciting to see what that one does this summer. As we wait for our next consigner, again, just talk a little bit about the sale. The sale will start at noon today, and we will be taking live bidding over the internet. And we're happy to, if you have any questions, to answer those for you. If you've not used the live bidding feature, you can call myself or my wife. I gave my number earlier. I'll give my wife's number this time. Her number is 765-491-7899. Again, also, if you're here close in the area, we are having a free breakfast complimentary of RSG. They were nice enough to sponsor a breakfast for us today. And actually, the first 100 buyers that register, we're giving a free mimosa. So we do want to thank RSG. They've been a great promoter. They're out of Thorntown, Indiana, or Lebanon. out of Lebanon, and do a great job with embryo transfer and artificial insemination. You know, they're that group that they're right on the forefront of the technology that we have utilized to really excel this thing forward in terms of genetics in this club lamb program. And we sure appreciate their support. We also want to put a shout out to Umbarger Feeds. Obviously, we see them at a lot of different places, and again, they've been a great supporter for a long time here with our sales and their presence and what they do. And if you guys study up, that you study the shows that they have fed lots and lots of champions throughout the United States. And the great part about it, they've got a new facility that they're putting feed together at there in Bargersville. And you get off I-65. I know it's a lot more convenient to get into get that feed now. And one thing, we sent Justin to get some creek feed there in earlier this spring, and he just was overwhelmed with the customer service that they had and how that worked there. Our next consigner's back, and it's McQuinley Club Lambs. This is our purebred Dorset consignment for the weekend. We do have one other ewe lamb from Iowa. I think Kucera has another Dorset for us. But McQuinley's bring us 3 Dorset lambs, and they're purebreds. This first one is a ram lamb, and obviously he's a ram weather option. He's only a few minutes from being a weather. And study this guy. He's green in his look, but that guy's got some shape, and he's got some expression to him. He is out of a Heisdorfer buck called Hawkeye, and out of one of Ted's ewes that they have raised. And, you know, that Heisdorfer stuff has really worked for a lot of people. And, again, another consigner that follows us and will be at Indianapolis, the Heisdorfers, and a great family to work with. The next ewe that we have in is a Dorset ewe lamb from McQuinley Club Lambs. And this gal's a November 20th, and out of that same Heisdorfer Hawkeye buck. Again, that'll be a papered sheep, and McQuinley's bring us a nice set of Dorsets every year. There he goes. He gets her set up there. That one's got a good look and good balance to her from the side. And I believe they've got one more Dorset ewe coming in, and she's also a Hawkeye bred sheep out of one of their ewes. So that'll be our Dorset consignment, and we'll bring that last one in here in just a second, and she'll be lot 20. Our next Dorset ewe will be lot 20.
Now in the ring is lot number 20, the McQuinley Club Lambs. This is also a ewe lamb out of Hawkeye on an MCL W117.
Okay, this will be the last lamb for McQuinley Club Lambs, and again, that's a Dorset ewe lamb. She's a November 18th, and McQuinleys are just south of here, and long-time Dorset breeders. They're just south of town here, and good family, good people to work with. They're sure wanting you to succeed with what they bring you, and like I said, a great family to work with.
Now in the ring is lot number 21.
Our next consignment comes from Willoughby Showstock, and this guy is a ram weather option. He is out of backseat driver. He's out of a dam called Hoosier, out of a dam that was sired by Hoosier and a Team Johnson ewe. That Hoosier was out of a buck called Last Chance that come from Cover that was a Johnson bred buck. This guy is one that we really like the way he balances up, and he's a side profile and how he balances up from chest floor to flank. He's one that's pretty good in his look, and he's still youthful enough that you could band him and show him as a wether, or if you're interested in a buck, one that can get out and breed some ewes for you this spring and this summer. So if you want an opportunity there on a buck lamb. Whenever Hank's ready, we're ready. Yep. The next ewe that we have in the ring is from Willoughby Showstock. This is lot 22, and this one's out of that backseat driver. This is actually a twin to that buck lamb and bred the same way. I got Hank Henning here with me, and he's from California. He's probably our long-distance man if we're going to have one this weekend. And Hank has been to the sale the last couple years. One thing about Hank that I want to bring up is he brought us a heck of a consignment last year. And Hank, how was that lamb bred last year?
That sheep, he was an Ozark pandemic kill shot sheep. And I sold him to New Mexico. And he ended up being champion Division I at New Mexico State Fair at the end of September.
Yeah.
Won a couple jackpots in between then, but that's where he finished. Third in his class at Arizona with a different family. But
yeah. So, I mean, he lasted a long time. They fed that sheep all the way from February of last year all the way to the Arizona Nationals, if I'm remembering right.
yes, sir. And he was an October born.
Yep.
So he was he was an old man by the end of it. But he fed for a long time, and he held together real well.
The fun part about it is that one had a great show record too, and that's what we're after. And I've known Hank for a while now, and I've actually, it's been a while since I've been to your place, but Hank has raised sheep for a long time and worked with I would say one of the pioneers in this club lamb deal. You got a lot of ewes from Niswonger, didn't you?
Yeah, not so much ewes. We started raising. We would keep a ewe that we would buy, or we ended up with a lot of market sheep that we would end up just taking home and breeding. That ended up being ewes, and but he would sell us old bucks. Like the first buck he sold us was Imagination. And then we used Rain Man from Hancock's for a year. He sold us, we bought half of MVP. We bought Mainspring when he was a 4-year-old ram. So it was more just keeping them used. Talk about this.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about this. When he's leaving the ring, this last lamb was lot 37 from Dona Livestock. That one was one, as we started getting pictures up and things before the sale, was really one that hit a lot of attention. That's a blindside hippogriff. And if you guys study that one, that is a big hip, good, balanced, real nice one. That's one we were studying pretty hard last night as they unloaded him. Guys, if you're looking for a blue one, you need to come and pay attention to him. The sheep we have in the ring right now is lot 38, which is a Dona Livestock sheep. And this one's out of blindside and hippogriff also. Got a lot of the same things, that big stout look to her, and one that's very shapely down her top. Guys, Dona, again, they're one of those consigners that come to a lot of sales, and they bring us sheep that really work for people. And, it's a fun when you get consigners like that, and the people come back, and they actually follow them and come to these sales to see what they have in particular. And, as a sale company, when they call and say, hey, that sheep beat the expectations of what we thought she would be, it's fun to hear that, and Dona, we get that a lot from. Dona, this is his last consignment, and again, that's another ewe lamb. She's a Hampshire. She's out of Gorilla and Happy Days, and both of those have their history to them of being pretty elite players in the club lamb world. That Gorilla buck is one that really, when he came out and started, was one that had a lot of impact on things.
The ring is lot number 41.
We were just talking to Hank here, and he's bringing his consignment out now. Now, you talk about two sheep that he brought out here. He drove all the way from California and unloaded these yesterday, and I'm going to tell you, they just very striking when they get off the truck, This guy here is the bigger, more extended one he brings, but that is a big bone, good, structurally correct one that is out of a buck called Peace Pipe, and then out of a ewe that's dammed by Kill Shot. But, guys, if you want one that's stout-boned and ready to go and be ready to go early and a feed, like I said, he was sitting there talking about that one he sold last year. These sheep will hold together and feed for a good stretch because they're good made and they balance up nice. So you buy with confidence here from Hank, and awfully good consigner. He's going to bring his second one here in a second, and this one's a little more modern, and he's framework, but he's really nice through the front two-thirds of his body. I mean, that one there, he's got that pelt that's really good, and maybe a sheep that might even be a little more explosive right there in his stifle shape in relation to that one he just had there a second ago. This one is really nice. It has that nice, real crisp touch to him. one you might want to come look at here and bring to the table. Again, Hank Henning, and he's from California, and like I said, a guy that these sheep feed good, and they put a good program together. Hey, here's one that a new guy to the game, and this one is pretty unique for what he is. He's a Dorper lamb, and that hair sheep deal has been pretty popular here in Indiana. And if you guys study this and you study the pieces and parts of them, this one puts the right things together. He's good on his feet and legs. He's very shapely in terms of his rack shape and his loin. One that I think can be very competitive in that Dorper division. And, you know, all of us, you all get your kids out and you want to get to the Coliseum or get to that Grand Champion Drive. This one might be one that makes that journey a little easier. He's pretty good, and he's shapely, and he's top. He'll work. Hey, that Hank's back, and your sheep look good when you brought them out there.
Thank you, sir.
Act like you've actually showed one once or twice.
Once or twice, not in a while.
Yeah.
Not competitively in a while.
You never lose that. Never lose that touch.
No.
The next consignment that we have is Luyster Livestock, and this one's out of Oops, as good as gold, and out of a dam. You know something there? I don't know how I would read that. What's that dam? Right
Vibranium.
There? Vibranium and sweet humor. They bring us these are. We looked at them yesterday, and they had me come over and look at them why they were fitting on them. And, man, they are good-legged, good-footed. They balance up good. They got a good look to them. These guys got them where they'll show and go. And if you study the lines and pieces and parts, there's a lot of future in these little gals. So they're going to bring us two of them, and they're both out of this Oops, good as gold buck. And the next one is a Love Top Hercules, and that one is lot 48.
Now in the ring is lot number 48 from Luyster Livestock. This is a doe kid, also out of Oops.
And again, you look at this, I mean, that gal, she balances up from her midline to her flank and down her top real well. That's a good set of females they brought in this goat deal. Hank, you want to talk about how those two sheep were bred? What's the big stout bone one bred like?
The first one? So we were talking about that wether I brought last year. This wether this year would be a maternal brother to the sheep's last year's mom. So that pandemic kill shot last year who damned that sheep, that kill shot is his mom.
Okay.
So she won the 2020 California Youth Ag Expo U Show. The first one they did. And so we've heard that 2104 U was one of her first lambs, first set of twin ewes she had. And then he would be a maternal brother to her.
Okay.
So
that one's got some royalty to him because that California Youth Expo is not an easy one to win.
No, we got lucky there, I'll tell you that.
Well, you take luck, but it takes talent to get there. What's interesting, that second one you brought in is just the touch and the handle and the hide that guy has. I mean, that one looks unique in the way he's
paper thin hided and ripped up. I think he's probably a more shapely, dimensional version of last year's sheep. Maybe not as big-footed or fuzzy, but he's quite as cool. But I think he's got the kind of that same hide and look and shape and all that.
But, you know, I remember that sheep from last year. This one's a little more unique maybe through his chest floor and the way he ties his neck up. That sheep is, I mean, if you study the front one-third of him, he is really, really crazy good from there.
Yep.
So we appreciate you bringing them. And,
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add to what we got, or?
No,
right.
We're all right.
All right.
We're good.
Well, hey, I appreciate it, Hank.
Hey,
and
thanks for having me.
Hank Kenny from California. And guys, if you want to dive into two that'll work, and the myself and the breeders stand behind, there they are, guys. They'll be offered here at noon tomorrow.
Give me a holler, text me, call me, whatever you got to do.
Okay. Hey, thank you, Hank.
Thank you.
Hey, this is the sheep that we just had in the ring is the Dorset Lamb, lot 51, and that's a wether from Johnner Club Lambs out of Iowa. And that sheep will be the Dorset wether that we have in the sale. So the next consignment we have is Parent Club Lambs, and they bring us a wether that is out of Wizard and a strictly business ewe. Parents, this is their first year here for this sale, and as I studied those and we saw the pictures earlier in the week, this guy is one that's got some look to him and got some potential to him. I'd sure take a look at him. That Wizard breeding was good, and a lot of people got along with that real well this past summer. The next lamb we have in the ring is a How High sired lamb. And How High, I think he speaks for himself. He's one of those that has really made his impact into the club lamb business. And if you guys have fed very many of those How High sheep, they're ones that they'll just keep going and getting better as the summer goes. He's out of a monkey business, out of a Op Buck and sired by monkey business, his dam is. And again, another one that's got that look and that potential to him.
Now in the ring is lot number 54, Parent Club Lambs.
Our next lamb is from Parent Club Lambs, lot 54. This guy is a December. He's out of that How High. He's bred just like the prior lamb. He's out of How High and out of a Ott steel monkey ewe, I guess. So they aren't on the female side. They're a little different. But that one is one that's real happy about his look, and he gives you just a little more elevation to his front end, and one that's pretty stout in his look. Again, that How High, if you've had some experience with them, those are sheep that are fun to feed.
Now in the ring is lot number 55, McKinney Club Lambs. It's a weather lamb out of Blindside on an El Chapo ewe.
Our next consignment comes from McKinney Club Lambs out of Iowa. This one is a Blindside El Chapo. McKinney's have, they've been some of our top consigners in some of our last sales. They actually led off the corporation sale last year in Oklahoma and sold that lamb, and that lamb went to California and was really successful out there on the West Coast. Won one of those bigger county fairs out there, and one that they campaigned and showed a bit. Sheep, again, it's fun to hear from those guys that buy these sheep, and they come back and they say, hey, that one worked out a little better than what I thought. And that one was definitely one of those cases last year from that one that led off the corporation. They got a lot for the money on that guy, and sure one that I would step in here and pay attention to as we present them today.
The weather lamb out of Batman on a Pure Enough.
The second lamb that McKinney's bring to us, that's a speckled-faced lamb. He's a December born. He's out of Batman and goes back to a dam out of Pure Enough. Usually they bring a lot of black faces to us, but this one's a little unique for them. They don't bring a whole lot of white faces to us. For one that's a white face, he's got a lot of those black face features in terms of muscularity and balance. if you guys are looking for one for that division, he's one I'd stand up and pay a little bit of attention to here. He could be awful fun project.
Now entering the ring is lot number 58, Team Wolff.
The next lamb we have in the ring is a
Ewe
Dorset
out of
Advantage
Mainline.
ewe. She'll be a papered
On a
ewe.
Dorset
She's an
ewe.
October 6th. And this gal is out of Mean Tweets and a Dorset ewe that they have. You know, that Dorset Advantage division's been an awfully fun division for a lot of people to work in. And you study this one, she's got a lot of those good things that that you want to see in them. That one's pretty big ribbed, and she balances up and comes into a big deep flank. A real nice one to put in that Dorset Advantage division. Our next one comes from Wyoming, and this is Jeffrey Club Lambs.
Now entering the ring is lot number 60.
It's lot
Jeffrey
60.
Club Lambs.
This one is out of
The weather lamb out of
Blindside
Blindside on a pineapple.
and Pineapple. He shows a lot of the things that Blindside buck does. One that's pretty stout in his bone, and he's wide in his design. Got that muscularity to him. These Blindsides have been pretty popular, and they've fed good for guys. And as he gets that one on the side view for me and the butt view for you, man, I'll tell you, it just balances up nice and good looking. One that's going to be attractive in the ring.
Now in the ring is lot number 61, Jeffrey Club Lambs. The weather lamb out of Chit Chat on a strictly business view.
As we wait for that next one, and he comes into the ring. This is a real happy looking one that's out of that Chit Chat buck. We talked about the Chit Chats earlier, and the ones that I've seen, they've really looked good all spring, and kind of interesting in the way they have come along and the attractiveness that they have. Got a lot of good things about them. This one's out of a strictly business dam. I do want to thank Billy Johnson to come set in our sale order today. Billy is obviously the owner of Johnson Family Club Lambs out of Wisconsin, and he's here to help us get our sale order set today, and appreciate that, him coming down and doing that for us. The next lamb we have is lot 62. This one is a gorilla out of a Sermon woodshed dam. This is a November born. You know, you get that gorilla that, as we said, he's made famous there in this Club Lamb program, and then you go back to that woodshed and go back to that Franklin stuff. Great females. There's one that you can show this summer and get a lot of a grab out of her, and then take her home and be a female. And to talk about that, we had a lamb we bought from him several years ago out of Black and White, and I'm telling you, she was just like a slot machine. She would really kick out the good lambs for us, and she was a good purchase for us there. I sure stand behind that Jeffrey breeding on those sheep really working. Our next one in the ring is a Menon livestock consignment, lot 64. She's out of Sundance and a Crenshaw ewe. That's a nice blue ewe that really balances up good. I've got Lee Meyer here sitting with me, and Lee's been a good consigner over the past few years. He's from Ohio, and he's brought us some awfully good sheep a lot of places. Down to Louisville for bred ewe sales and things. And Lee, do you want to tell us a little bit about the buck that all your lambs are sired by this year? Tell us a little bit about him.
Sure. We raised a ram lamb out of Ride Time last year that We had a flush of 17 live lambs that were all natties, all consistent, and we picked out what we thought was the right one to make the kind of sheep we're after. Trying to make these natties compete with the hamps is not an easy task, but the bigger leg, bushier we can get them, shallower fronted and everything to try to match up with that, and I think this guy's doing it right now. So we've only got 4 lambs out of him so far, and they're here. So
Yep.
We're looking for big things in the future.
And that is a good thing about those lambs. I tell you what I like about them is, and we talked about them earlier, those sheep have got some youthful look up through their chest floor and things. They're sheep that look like they're going to feed for good ways. And, I mean, you know, we start getting these lambs earlier and stuff, and that's something we really got to start taking focus on, because if we push them too hard and we blow those front ends out of them, they're just not attractive enough when they hit the ring. And that is one thing I saw about those lambs, that they lay their blade good into them. They're good in their chest floor. You know, with that being said, you know, you kind of push toward this blue program and getting those dark ones and making them better, and that's the thing. Is there any of them that you've sold here in the last couple of years that really stand out to you that you want to put a shout out to your kids that have bought those in the past?
Yeah, I mean, we put the sale together that December. We called it the Blue Christmas Sale we had on your online deal, and sold a bunch of those flush mates that year. Doug Parent bought a ram lamb. He was lot number 1 in that sale. He kept him as a ram lamb. He's got a couple of nice-looking lambs out of him. Due to a really good AI conception rate, he didn't get to use him very hard, but he really is liking what he has. Sold some good ewe lambs in that sale that are doing really good for people right now, and that, you know, that's one of the reasons we kept that buck lamb. Something working consistent like that. It's hard to get consistency these days, and a flush like that was consistent. I'm seeing it out of his lambs too. So we've got some out there. We sold a really good one. That same flush actually was a full sib in your premier sale there at Louisville year before last. It was a really nice ewe.
I'm going to give a shout out to this one that we got in the ring. This one comes from Hayden Schlichter from Indiana, and this guy is one that he brought in with Wolff yesterday. But man, he sheared out good. He's out of that Ceasefire buck. That one's powerful and really balances up good. Guys, if you're wanting one that is going to be ready to go pretty quick and early, that one right there is one you need to take a look at. Out of Ceasefire. The Southdown, this one's a purebred Southdown ewe, and she's a October, and she's out of this Hogger buck. I believe goes back to I guess it's a March Madness War Admiral son. But that gal there, if you guys were on Facebook last night, they posted her. She's one that'll be pretty competitive in that Southdown division. Come back to Lee here. Lee's located on that west side of Ohio, and Lee, we appreciate everything you've done with us over the past few years. Is there anything you want to add?
Listen, you're giving me a plug here. I'll give you one. We've enjoyed the service we've got from Willoughby Sales. Everything's been top notch. You're always good to us. You know, we think we have good sales with you. We like working with good people, so we appreciate you.
We appreciate that a bunch, and you know, we'll look forward to that. And I know you're going to bring us a set to Indianapolis too. And guys, don't hold on though, because this set of 4 he's got today, like he said, is the first offering out of that buck. And like I said, guys, pay attention to what you got going there. Those will be sheep that'll feed along real well in the summer.
I believe so too. Appreciate that, Dan.
All right. Well, Lee, we appreciate it. And we'll look forward to seeing how they sell today, and hopefully we'll get them in some good homes.
Right on, brother. Appreciate it.
Our consignment that we have in the ring right now is black sheep, Hampshires, and club lambs. To get to my sheet here,
Born to Fly also on Ashton.
both those sheep are out of Born to Fly.
We would like to introduce the man sorting the set today, Mr. Billy Johnson. He grew up showing in southern Wisconsin through the 90s, where they still reside. He works as a sales.
These are both out of Born to Fly, and lot 69 has just left the ring. And then he's bringing in lot 70 that we have in the ring right now. That is a Born to Fly. And I believe those are flush mates. And Born to Fly is out of the Supreme Weather Sire in 2023. I believe that was an Ellerbrock sheep, is actually one that we had a little bit of interest in our family on, and sure sheep that are stout-boned and got some elevation to them. Sheep that are nice to look at.
Had success on all levels.
Kucera is the next one in the ring, and this is lot 71.
We're at the local pub being true Wisconsiners, usually drinking our dinner. They also like
and this one is lot 71, and he's out of 2.0. Now this is one of, I think, the only 2.0 that we have in the sale. And guys, that one is pretty unique. That 2.0 has won several shows, and if you guys have been watching some of the results and things, that might be one you want to take and pay attention to. He is a ram weather option, so if you are interested in a ram, that guy is one you need to take and pay attention to. And like I said, he's still youthful enough. If you want to show him as a weather, that guy, you can get him banded there pretty quick. He's only a few seconds from being there. The next one that Kucera has is a ewe lamb that's out of Advanced Technology. That is a Hasbrook bred sheep, and then goes back to a green line ewe. She's a December born, and just take and pay attention to that one, and one that's got a great pedigree behind her.
Now in the ring is lot number 75. From Prunty and Dyer Clublands, it's a weather lamb out of Nobody and a bullseye.
The next one we have in the ring is from Prunty and Dyer, and that is lot 75. He is sired, it's a weather lamb that is a mid-November, sired by Nobody and a bullseye dam. Prunty and Dyer, again, they're another one of those great consigners that have been with us for a long time, and if you guys study those and you come to the sales, those sheep are that'll feed and they work, and got a good following with Prunty and Dyer. It's great that they come to the sales, and we sure appreciate them being here today. Lot 76 is the next one in, and this is a mid-November, and he's out of Father Figure and out of a Grinch Casanova ewe. This one really got a good look to him, tall-fronted, good on his feet and legs. Sure pay attention and to him. That Father Figure buck has been pretty popular, and I mean, he's not one that just happened here. He's the one that's been pretty consistent and been throwing a lot of good sheep out there. So the consistency of him is one you can kind of fall back into and take some confidence on. To wind up this Prunty and Dyer consignment, we've got lot 77, and that is another mid-November. He's out of Bravo and a Phoenix Unicorn dam. Bravo, again, that's another one of those mature bucks. He's been around for a long time. They don't keep breeding them that way because they don't work. They breed them that way because they do work. And this one, if you'll study him and study the potential he has, he does have that look and appearance to him. Muscular, stout in his makeup, one you ought to take a peek at. Our next consigner is Dean Caven, and Dean, he's one of those guys that I've been in this Clubland program for a long time, and he's one of those old timers that always has those sheep that work. And you don't last in this deal as competitive it is as long as Dean has, and not have sheep that work for people and go out and win for them. This one's out of a little big city and a light them up ewe. Awful nice sheep that he brings to the first consignment for a while. Like I said, Dean has been in the Clubland business for a long time. He's had lots and lots of success, and we're sure glad he's here this weekend.
Now in the ring is lot number 82 from Caven Show Lambs. The weather lamb at a little big city on a woolly bully daughter.
And Mr. Caven brings us another real good one here, and this one's out of a little big city also, and goes back to a Woolly Bully daughter. Again, one that just balances up good, has all those good pieces to him. Good, solid, long-term program here.
I don't know if it matters to you, but these are both ram leathers. They've still got their seeds in them.
Okay. And to round off the Caven consignment, he brings in lot 83. And this guy's a crossbred weather that's a December 17th. He's out of a buck called East Coast, which is a top tier buck, and out of a Woolly Bully dam. Again, that top tier, he's one that's been there for a long time. He's got several sons out here that work for people. That genetic line works, and they'll be fun to feed and work with. Terhaar Club Lambs, or Terhaar Show Stock is the next consignment, lot 84. This is a ewe lamb that is out of Goose and then out of a Saban, Ali, and Ali's mom. Guys, this is one that I came in yesterday and they were walking this gal around the barn, and just to tease them a little bit, this one's broke the lead and ready to go. She is good looking. These Goose lambs, I've seen a few of them here just recently, and boy, they're good, good through the front end, and they balance up nice, and they've just got a fantastic look to them. Some sheep you might want to pay attention to here. The second lamb of the Terhaar consignment is lot 85, and that one is a crossbred weather. He's out of Most Wanted and Camo. I've got Jim Dona here to talk with me now. Jim, how you getting along?
Good.
Jim was talking to me earlier today. They've been kind of touring around, and they come out this weekend. And one thing that I saw earlier in the week kind of build my motivation for the sale was that blue one. Manny took a good picture and then got out here and studied him last night. That is a big hip dude that's wide at his pins, and he's that, and as thick as he is, puts a good hip together and explosive down his top. Can you tell us a little bit about his mommy and daddy and what
sure.
you think?
So his mom's a hippogriff ewe that we bought for Middlesworth here about 3 years ago. And all we've done is flush her. The buck lamb we sold out here last year was at her. I don't know if you remember him.
Did they keep him a buck when they took him home?
Yep, they
Who
did.
got him?
He went to some folks in Utah. They're pretty happy with him. So, but that sheep is good. We like that one quite a bit. We kind of one of those ones that's hard to part with, but when you come to a sale, you want to bring a good one, and he's blue on top of it. So, but that mom's been done a really good job for us. She put 14 of them on the ground this year out of that flush. So,
Well, I know he's got some interest to him. I hope we get him a good home and a good feeder for you today, Ollie. You guys come to a lot of the sales we have and stuff. How long have you been coming to sales with us?
So we've been coming since 2018.
2018, good deal.
Yeah.
I know your riding partner there, you got to kind of suffer a little bit there sometimes, Sometimes you come with Simpson, and there's a little pain there too.
Yeah.
And then you go with Jeffrey once in a while, but pretty good crew though. I bet there's a lot of fun. I'd love to ask you some of those stories, but we need to keep this PG here on this deal.
Yeah.
So, some of the. Can you tell us about some of the? Do you got anybody you want to give a shout out on some of the lambs that won for you the last year or so?
Yeah. So actually, we got a girl that stuck with us from the beginning back home in Wyoming. She wins her county fair every year. Timber Eckley does a real good job. Then the Gaskin girl down in Texas here a few years ago bought a real good lamb from us down there at the Black and White, and got along real well at San Antonio with that one. So yeah,
you got to watch that guy sorting them in San Antonio. So,
Yeah. I noticed you didn't have any security anymore with you today. So.
Yeah, they got me out of there, you know. So they don't carry as many guns up here. So let's see here. The net right now we've got. I'm going to take just a shot here.
Yep.
We got A. Johnson Livestock coming in, and this is a sheep that comes out of Kentucky from Goose, and this is an awful nice set. They brought two of these that come out of the same flush. This, like I said, this Goose buck, just what I've seen out of him has been pretty unique on the way he throws them front ends and balances them up and things. Might want to pay attention here to this female that's made really good and got a good look to her. You brought your daughter out here with you too. Is she still showing stock?
Oh yeah, she's a freshman. So I have a junior in high school, a freshman in high school, and then a sixth grader back. So they stayed home and lambed out the last of our ewes this week.
I heard that. You planned to flush while you were gone with them. Thought that'd be a good week to let them guys go ahead and get that. And hey, I don't blame you. That's kind of the way I organize things at our house too.
I planned the cold weather too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I wish you would have done that a little different. So now you'll bring sheep to us in Indianapolis and Oklahoma, right?
Yep, that's the plan. Yep.
I'm just going to ask you this: what's your favorite sale of the year?
I like the Midwest Elite. As far as selling sheep goes, I like the Midwest Elite. I do like going down to the black and white just because you get to see some of those other breeders down south where really don't make it down there. But that Midwest Elite sale is a good time, I think. So.
And I'll tell you what, it's guys like you have made that thing go, and you know it has been. I've been really lucky to work with a lot of good breeders and things, and you know a guy could take credit for that, but it's the breeders that make them sales. I mean, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have them. So we appreciate you bringing what you bring, and I'm glad you stopped by and talked to me here a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
We'll talk on the side, see some of them stories about Simpson and Jeffrey.
I have a couple.
Okay, all right. We'll keep in between ourselves.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Yep. Right now we've got Rodenbeck Club Lambs in. They just brought that natural color in prior that was lot 101. That one is an all natty, which is a rule buck and goes back to Crazy Monkey. The lamb they have in here right now currently is 102. That one is out of Whiz Kid and Pandemic. So, and to go back on that WF consignment, their two males are weather ram options. So if you guys are looking for a ram, those are weather ram options. We're getting ready to wind up. We've got our last consigner coming to the ring, which is Wessel Club Lambs. They're a new consignment that to the sale this year. And these sheep are AI bred. And
the weather lamb.
The first one's a natural colored sheep that comes out of a buck called, it's out of a Wizard G buck. It's a Wizard Son. This one's a young, good-looking one. Guys, if you'll study him, that one is one that you can kind of bring along pretty easy and go with. And got a good look to him, and that good natural color, good stout bone one. I got Dennis Feller with me here now, and he's getting ready to put the headphones on. Now, Dennis, I know we can get talking a lot because you and I, we usually get in them conversations that last for a half hour and things, so I don't know if we can keep all these guys' attention or not, if we got that much interest for them.
We can go way back, can't we, Dan?
Yes, we can. You know, Dennis pretty young looking, but I got a little age to me, and I've been on this deal. You know, it's going to be next year, be 30 years anniversary for the Midwest Elite Premier 10.
I've been to every one of them.
I know. I was going to say that.
It's been fun, and we've had a long run of it, and bought a lot of good sheep out of it too. Yep. And I'd like to get Andrew to coming back, but he don't like coming when he's got 4 kids running around and too much to do, and doesn't like sleeping in motels, and so he's a tough one.
Yep.
But
well, I know you're local here, and you're around the Richmond area, and you're just a few minutes from here. Like I said, guys, Dennis is one that I've had the luxury of working with for a long time, and Andrew's a little older than Justin, so Justin and Andrew got to show a lot in 4-H together. And you know something that's unique about both them kids? They both won the Indiana State Fair, and I can still to this day remember each one of them they won with, too.
Yep.
I think he had 2 in there that year.
Yep. We were reserve.
You were reserve, okay.
Yeah, we had Champion Hamp and Champion Suffolk that year. Bought the reserve lamb from Craig Bowers. And we raised the Champion Suffolk out of a ewe that we bought right here in this building. The very first year you had the rare opportunity sale.
Yeah.
I think that was like 05.
Yep. I had Hindman, Middlesworth, and Harms were in that sale.
And Lambrights.
And Lambrights, that's right.
And,
I do. He was in there one year, and he didn't. Yep.
Well, and I know the story about why he was only in there 1 year, but all his ewes were not shorn.
Yeah.
And everybody else's ewes were
shorn.
And it kind of helped me.
Yeah.
It kind of helped me. Yeah. No, one of those ewes had our Champion Suffolk, and we really had a great year that year, all except for fungus. Seemed like we got ate up by fungus that year, but they had a good time.
Well, guys, we're going to talk a little more with Dennis here, but that is the conclusion of our preview. The sale will start at noon today, and we're sure excited that you spent your hour with us this morning to see what we have to offer, and we look forward to seeing you here at noon. And if you do show up here before noon and you've not eaten breakfast yet, we do have breakfast for you sponsored by RSG. So we appreciate you being here. Dennis, just a little more about your program. You've sold a lot of good sheep with us. You bought a lot of good sheep from us, and we sure appreciate that. And you brought us that's a dang good ewe that you guys are selling, that first lot number you have, and the second one's really nice too. And but that one's pretty unique that you brought there.
Yeah. Of course, her sire. Isn't probably one of the most well-known bucks in the world. I mean, he's a keeper buck. We use a lot of AI work and then end up keeping a son out of that AI work, and that's kind of what that buck is. And out of a ewe that we bought in 2020, there were Woodward. It was supposed to be the Reno sale, and you ended up bringing it back to Woodward, Oklahoma.
Yeah,
and Andrew went out there and bought a couple of ewes out of that sale from Brian Johnson, and a couple of donor ewes they became. And Andrew's bought a lot of ewes since he's taken over. The Hurleman family, we stopped in there in 2020, right after COVID broke. We made a trip to southern Texas to Nathan Hall's, and came back up through Texas and came through Hurleman's, who I'd never been to before. Been to a lot of places in Oklahoma, but I'd never been to Hurleman's, and found out he was selling out, and we bought about 25 ewes out of there, and they've made a really significant impact into that flock. And
I've known Dwayne for a long time. That was a good stop because he had a tremendous set of sheep at that time, and I mean he was really blazing a trail. And
he was right on top, and so that's kind of where after I kind of turned the thing over to Andrew and gave it to him to manage. That was not by choice. Of course, I got sick and went in the hospital there in 2020, and it took me about 6 months to really recover.
Yeah.
And when I watched Andrew take over the reins, and he done a good job, whether it be crop work or whether it was sheep work. And so it was time for me to step back and say, there you go, have at it. And so probably one of the greatest accomplishments that I've had in the sheep deal is just to be able, and you understand this, to be able to pass on the passion of livestock to your son is a big deal. And there's so many people out there that, you know, they're, I don't want to call them one and done, but you know, they ride that top for a long time, and then all of a sudden they're gone.
Yep.
And thankfully, you know, and when I look back at it, you know, my dad passed on that same passion to me. I've passed it on to my son, and hopefully we can take it one more generation at least.
Well, you know, you bring that up. That's one of the things that sometimes we lose sight in the competition of this deal, that it is about building kids, and it's about building families and, you know, communities and being able to work together. You know, there's not only, you know, and I look at this a little different, you know, family, you know, I've got my intermediate family, but this sheep project can be a big family, and I mean, I consider a lot of other people family in this, that, you know, they may not be related by blood, but I feel good that they're people you can count on and lean on and come back, and they want to see you succeed. And that's one thing we got to keep focus of and not lose focus of that.
Absolutely agree with that. There's good people in here that do a good, honest job and work hard at it, and they need rewarded, and some of the reward is being able to come to a place like this and giving their, you know, put their stuff on display. And whether you're a big name or not a big name, doesn't matter. If you can put your stuff on display and people reward you by buying it and having success with that, that is important. We're by far not big name people, but we've enjoyed a lot of success, and we love selling sheep to people that are passionate about it, and we've become good friends with people. Andrew is great with people. He loves communicating with people so much that, you know, a lot of times I have to jerk his phone away from him, but if we're going to get anything done that day. But we really enjoy this deal. It's a overblown 4-H project to some degree. That's how we kind of started this deal. Of course, you know, I grew up in the hog deal and got out and had to have livestock of some sort, and so we started with the sheep thing, and then it became an Andrew 4-H project, and really has been a lot of fun. And I'm at the age now I'm trying to enjoy watching my grandkids do lots of different things. Ellie has fallen in love with basketball.
Well, good.
And of course I'm a basketball nut and enjoy anything to do with the round ball, and so can't wait to try to teach her the things that I've learned over the years. And so,
well, Dennis, I appreciate you talking to us. Like I said, family, that if you guys are looking for good sheep and sheep that can run in any level, you guys need to stop by, fellers, and you need to look at it. You need to look at this consignment today, but if you get an opportunity, run by the house and visit with them there. Appreciate you talking to us, Dennis. Good luck today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We'll try to get you a good home for them 2 ewes.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.